Aloha, children of the night, and welcome to another episode of the Tiki Goth Club. And today I am in Kansas City, Missouri.
Not Kansas.
Not Kansas City, Kansas. And there is a big difference.
It's a huge difference. One of us was fighting on the right side of the Confederate War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Not us.
And so you're on the wrong side.
We're on the wrong side of history right now.
I think I reached out to you when I'm always looking for, seeing people's home tiki bars.
Sure.
And it's sort of like, and what I loved about your bar is because you definitely have this combination of tiki and horror. And seeing this place in person does not disappoint. What came first for you, the tiki or the horror?
The horror. The horror came first.
Okay.
Yes. I grew up loving, 80s classic campy horror. Grew up on, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Grew up, of course, Halloween, though not 80s.
Yeah, and I'm intentionally drinking Freddy Krueger.
Favorite horror specific franchise would be Nightmare on Elm Street, but like Alien franchise, my favorite all time. But like grew up watching those movies. As I've told you before, my brother's 6 years older than me, so he exposed me to some things that I probably wasn't ready for. First, it was Exorcist when I was 5.5. Yeah, that's not really the age you want to expose a child to.
And you know what the scariest part
Catholicism.
You know what the scariest part of that movie is?
What?
In my opinion? The part where he's having the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And they flash
the Pazuzu face?
Yes. It's terrifying. That's the
Speaking
part
of Pazuzu, do you have the Ohana is Dead Pazuzu mug?
No.
You got to get one. Chip's doing great things in your neck of the woods in the Northwest.
Really?
That's where Ohana's Dead's out of. He's making great horror mugs. Yeah, just grew up watching horror movies, loving it, loved being scared. We grew up poor, so one of the things that we could do without having to spend too much money was go to the local theater.
Yeah.
And you'd literally pay for 3 tickets. It was me, my mom, and my older brother, and we would watch. They would let you watch movies all day. As long as you didn't leave. As long as you didn't leave, you'd get free refills on popcorn.
Really?
Free refills on soda, and we would go and just watch everything that was showing. So a lot of times it was like, my first crush was Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
So I watched Pretty Woman in the theater, and it was me like, I need to go watch Sleeping with the Enemy. I'm 7. Need to go watch that and be creeped out by bath towels. But yeah, so like we had this whole experience in the theater that was like a bonding experience for our family. Not knowing, my mom and my dad did a great job of like not letting us know how impoverished we were.
Yeah.
Felt like we got to keep doing things, which was awesome. And for us, it was very much around cinema. So that was where my love for horror movies kind of spawned. My mom loved being scared too. So we shared that a lot. We watched like just the shittiest movies, whether it was on TV or in the theater. So it was great.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Like, when I'm in the same boat as you. My introduction to horror was all the slasher films from the early 80s.
Yeah.
And I grew up when VHS rental stores were king.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, a lot of those movies I saw on videotape.
Yeah.
Where I remember going to the video stores and
seeing the posters.
Seeing the box.
Yeah.
And being like,
okay. I'm saying the cover art for the posters on that.
Yeah. Man. And the cool thing is, you literally have a whole collection of VHS tapes.
We do. We wanted to stay true to that because, like you said, the same experience. Very few things got me excited as a child, aside from Natasha Henstridge Species. Then going to the movie store and renting tapes. So we wanted to keep that experience with Creepers Cove, where yes, we're making quality drinks, but also we wanted to have that analog experience of loading up the VCR that we have right here, sitting beneath our Sega Genesis 16-bit Sonic Hedgehog, always loaded. Couple classic Blockbuster videotapes there. But yeah, that was part of the whole experience of like physically holding things, so I don't read ebooks.
Yeah.
I need to hold stuff. I feel it.
No, this is like bringing me back to my childhood, because that's how you watched everything, was on videotape.
Had to.
Well, at least for me.
Yeah.
I saw like Friday the 13th Part 3 in the theater.
Was it in 3D?
Yeah. If there was ever an opportunity for me to see like one of the older classic movies on the big screen, like I fucking go.
Yeah. Were you a drive-in guy too?
Was that?
Did you go to the drive-ins?
All the drive-ins around me were they're all showing pornos.
So did you go to the drive-ins?
No. I was too young. I wasn't driving age yet to go to that.
You didn't have an older brother who...
And now I think of it, though, the more I think about it, I mean, it's like, depending on which side you're looking at, it's sort of like, for the viewer of the movie, this is like heaven.
Yeah.
Because you're in your own car. But you got to think, like, the guy who's working there, like, I know what all these guys are doing.
All those...
I'm not going around and checking for tickets, I'll tell you that much.
No one here is carpooling. There's only one person in all those cars, and all the windows are steaming.
But I'm serious, it's like all
Let's all go to the lobby.
There were drive-ins, but they were all like past the point.
Okay.
Or if they were showing like regular movies, it wasn't even like the second-rate movies, like, you know, like movies when there's the theaters, like the second-run theaters.
Yeah.
This is like HBO, like okay, this movie's been out for like a year, and now it's playing at the drive-in.
Oh my god.
That's a big part for me too, was HBO.
Okay, yeah.
Because a lot of stuff would come on there, and that's how we get to see a lot of stuff.
Yeah. See, we couldn't afford HBO.
I couldn't. We didn't. But what they would used to do is they'd have these like free weekends.
Oh yeah.
Every once in a while, HBO would have this like free weekend thing. So, and then they make a point, they're like, okay, we're going to show all our good stuff to entice you to join.
Yeah.
So what my dad did is he would just videotape the entire weekend. He'd get like a 6 hour, 8 hour long tape and just tape everything. And then
always beat the system. Always look for ways to cheat the system.
And then he bought a second VCR.
Yeah.
And then anytime
he was selling bootleg VHS tapes of movies.
No, it was selling it anyway. But it was awesome for me.
Off camera, you can tell me about his little deal.
Well, he didn't make much money, so. But anyway, like for me, I remember like we had 2 VCRs. So anytime we'd rent a movie, we'd copy it. And then I remember when I moved out on my own, immediately I bought 2 VCRs to copy everything I got.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, some of these ones that we have, like they're original slipcases, but they're clearly recorded tapes. They're not the original tapes.
No,
but yeah, it's all the same movie. It's great.
So how did you get into Tiki then?
So, I mean, growing up in Southern California, grew up in San Diego.
San Diego.
You're
a long ways from home.
The whale's vagina, according to Will Ferrell.
The whale's
vagina. Anchorman reference. It's a fantastic movie. Growing up in San Diego, we had access to that stuff. You know, being on the coast, there was a lot of like faux tiki type bars, a lot of tropical type stuff where they're serving the pina coladas. But I mean, we had LA not too far from us, so when I became of age to actually properly drink in bars, we had the tea. We had Tiki Tea up, and I mean, we had the Valley High, and we had a couple decent bars like there on the coast that I guess you can somewhat consider tiki. We had Trader Mort's down there at Shelter Island, the liquor store. So, I mean, San Diego always had a really good tiki culture, which was great. And the cool thing was you didn't have to have a home tiki bar because you could do that escapism. You could do the escapism. You could go there, you could leave it, and then go about your day, go about your life. But it wasn't until after we moved to New York and then moved here to the Midwest, we really saw a need for escapism.
Yeah, especially living. Well, there's not. Well, you had one of the best tiki bars.
Sure.
Tiki Cat.
We had Tiki Cat.
But the operative word is used to.
We had.
Yeah.
But yeah, living in the Midwest, you know, no coast tiki was what we were experiencing here. So we really found the need to have that escapist thing. And fortunately, like you're alluding to, we lost Tiki Cat pretty early on in our stay here. And then of course the world shut down. We were stuck at home.
Yeah.
We being my wife and I, not Ray and I. We weren't together here.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're gonna start our.
Depends
our
on.
We're gonna start our bootleg VHS.
Depends on how many Ray's mistakes you're gonna make tonight.
I don't know. I guess.
Find out. We started this. This was just like a.
So you built this out of necessity.
Yes, literally.
Okay.
This was a smoking lounge. I used to smoke cigars in here. Autumn and I would play cribbage.
Yeah, this is kind of like.
Yeah.
What is this? Actually?
So this was just a covered patio.
Okay, yeah, because your living room was like
it's
right there.
Right there.
Okay, yeah, all right. So
there's a window over there that we covered with the mug shelf.
Yeah.
Because as we learned, building out a tiki space, we tried to do as many of the rules as possible, like no windows to the outside world and no white walls and all that stuff. It all felt a little much, but we tried to be as true to those.
Those are guidelines.
Yeah, we tried to stay as true to those guidelines when we first were doing it.
So was this already built, or did you build this?
No, this was built.
Okay.
But these walls, these wood-paneled walls, these lovely wood-paneled walls over here, there's no insulation. So
that was already there.
Yeah, this was already here.
But here's the thing. I fucking love paneling.
So do I. I love
paneling.
I wish it was insulated, though, because then we could actually have, we wouldn't be just completely destroyed by the heat and the humidity in here, or losing the cool air that we'd get from the AC.
No,
Just
no,
whatever's in
I'm
here
serious.
just
Like I'm
bleeds out.
like as I'm looking at like right here.
Yeah.
Like this is my
This
childhood.
feels like a 60s basement.
No, 80. Like this is our living.
And
This is my
that's it,
living
yeah.
room. This is my living room because we had a television, one
Yeah.
of these big ass TVs. We had the VCR. We had the VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Paneling
Yeah.
in the living room.
Paneling's great. I love wood paneling.
I still do. And the crazy thing is, it's like almost like your bar is like almost like a time machine. At least for me.
Yeah. I like that.
Because I'm getting like serious like early 80s vibes.
Yeah, we just need like brown rug. Some brown shag carpeting.
That's what we had in the living room.
That's what I'm saying.
We had brown
perfect.
shag carpeting.
I would just be sitting here crisscross applesauce 6 inches from the TV, and it'd be me as a child again.
How far away were you from Tiki Cafe?
It's not far. Less than 2 miles, I think.
Less than 2 miles?
About, yeah. It's just right over here in Westport.
Oh shit! So you're really close.
Yeah.
So like saying what you're saying, like you want to go to get some tiki?
Yeah.
Just go there.
Yeah, you'd Uber there, Uber back. Fuck. Easy peasy. Get hammered, go hang out with Diana, and drink amazing drinks, and then leave.
Yeah.
And it was great. Unfortunately, we didn't know it was going to close, so we didn't take as advantage of it as we wanted to, or as we should have, because we just always thought it was going to be there. Took it for granted.
What would make you think? Oh, I mean, there would
Yeah.
be nothing that would say that.
Nothing we
would
knew.
go. I mean, the place was successful. I mean, like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I'm serious. Like I've gone to a lot of tiki bars, and it's seriously one of the best ones I've ever been to.
Yeah, I miss it every day.
Yeah.
But the silver lining, you always got to look for the positives out of it, was because that place closed. We have Creepers Cove.
Yeah.
We've made the community of friends that we have possible because of the closing of that place, because we felt the need to do this, and this allowed us to meet Old Mac Tiki, Chief Tiki Tay, Andrew from Surfside Sibs. Became really good friends with Diana.
Tiki
from,
D.
from Tiki D from Tiki Cat, and I don't think we would have become that good of friends if we were just seeing her as a bartender.
She was behind the bar when I was at Tiki Cat, and
She's incredible.
her drinks were incredible.
Nice.
And now she's out in San Francisco.
She's out in San Francisco, but she still does pop-ups here as Connor's Cove, and they're phenomenal. She's had one this weekend, and
Well, the cool thing is I've always seen, on Instagram, I've always seen pictures, and there's always it almost seems like there's always a party going on here. There's always people here hanging out.
yeah, we're very much an open door type of bar.
Yeah.
We wouldn't really call ourselves a bar. We call ourselves a home hideaway, because it's more than that. I think this is more of an experience as opposed to just making the drinks, and we knew we wanted that. We didn't want it to be. When I made reference to those rules of how to build a tiki bar, screens are not technically allowed in authentic tiki bars. They say no screens, no distractions, no allusions to the outside world. You just immerse yourself in this space. And we said, fuck that. That's kind of boring. Some people come over and the conversation's lacking. Put a movie on. Let's get weird. Let's watch a reanimator.
And if you want
Let's see a severed head go down on a girl.
And if you want
that'll really get the conversation started.
And if you want them to leave, you put in Motel Hell.
There you go.
Once they see the guy rolling around with a pig's head down, they'll get
delicious sausages.
They'll get out of here. A lot of your guests that you have over, friends over, are they into? How much are they in? Are they into the horror and the tiki as well? Or are they just tiki people? Or are they just horror people?
So it's cool. We'll have friends, close friends will want to come here and hang out, and then they're just mostly here for the drinks. No one's really as creepy as we are when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll expose them to classic VHS horror. A lot of them lead more towards the comedy horror type stuff.
Is that a term? VHS horror?
I'm just thinking
because
retro horror.
Because that exactly.
But it's
describes
also
what I'm what I think of.
Yeah, because those movies were made to be seen on the technology that they were made for. Like you watch newer versions, like Blu-ray versions of those classic horror movies, and it's just not the same feeling. I think it needs to be viewed on that actual format.
It's just like you were saying, like with the videotapes. Because how would go is you go into a video store and they'd have the shelves and they'd display the fronts of the boxes
facing out.
And the thing is that you would go, or at least I would go, and you'd see all. I go in the horror section, and you'd see all these movies.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, okay, Evil Dead, all right, Evil Dead 2, all right. And you'd be going like you read movies all the time.
Yeah.
So eventually you'd kind of start like I'm just seeing these movies pieces. I should check that out sometime. Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Like
I should. I mean, just sit. It's like all these are literally staring back at you on these shelves, and it's like you just kind of go through them. it was a different thing. 'Cause like going to the movies was kind of like a big deal, at least like from like how you were saying. Like we didn't have a lot of money, and it's like if we're gonna go to the movies, it was gonna be like a matinee. And my parents were definitely not taking me to go see like any horror movies. Like I went and saw Friday the 13th with like friends that were a little older than me that could drive.
Yep.
And like so I didn't really, as I said, I didn't really go see a lot of the horror movies. And then I don't even remember seeing like too many. There wasn't any trailers on television for like any of the movies that were already they've already been out and gone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you talk about like movies that were from like the late 70s going into the early 80s, they were already in and out. So the only way I would know what these movies were these movies on the video on these things.
And you mentioned trailers. Like when you watch a VHS tape, you get the trailers of like coming attractions. That's one of my favorite parts of watching these movies again, is seeing what else was coming around at that time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck, I need to get that movie. I forgot all about that movie. So yeah, that's really, really cool. We love that. So like exposing people to these is really cool. A lot of the people we get actually who contact us and want to come visit the Cove have never been to a tiki bar.
Really?
It's interesting. Like they'll know someone who went to a tiki pop-up and like met us there, or they talked to Diana at this pop-up and like, oh yeah, you should go check out Creepers Cove. Make sure you follow them too. I mean, super tight community here, which is great. We love that.
No, you do have your tiki purists. That it's like if it ain't 100% tiki, then it's not right. Yeah. But for me, I'm as it goes on, I'm digging and enjoying seeing people combine different elements together.
Yeah.
Like there's like tiki and Star Wars. Like that's a controversial thing.
Yeah.
But tiki and horror, I mean, it's like to me, it's like these are two great tastes that taste great together. You know.
I completely agree. And you're like,
and what I love too is like even like as we're talking here, it's just sort of like. You know, I visit a lot of people, people's home tiki bars and stuff like that. Or I just know a lot of people through tiki. Sure. But then, like, as time goes on, when you start hanging out with someone, you start talking about, like, oh, you're into this movie, you like these movies too. Oh, you like this kind of music too. And I love when you get past the tiki. I mean, I love talking about tiki. Yeah. I love talking about tiki. But I love it when you can get past that, when you can be like, well, let's talk about some other things that we have in common too.
Yeah, because no one is just one thing. No, and like,
no one is.
No one is just tiki. There's no one who's like living tiki every fucking day, every fucking hour, every minute.
Yeah, and if you're and the thing, what do I love about home tiki bars? It's like I like to see the different interests that people have and bringing it into their bars.
I agree, and that's something we really want to do with here. Like I was saying, we grew up on 80s horror.
Yep,
that's most personal to me when it comes to the horror genre. And
me too.
That I feel like it's the best, but again, I'm probably biased. But Universal Monsters already kind of has that parallel with, the rise of tiki.
Oh yeah.
So all that was kind of already there. Creature from the Black Lagoon, who we have showcased here as well, but like Dracula, Frankenstein, all this stuff. You buy Doug Horn art, you're gonna see these references to Universal Monsters, Hammer horror. All that's already ingrained in like subgenres of tiki.
Yep.
What I wasn't seeing when I first started Creepers Cove with Autumn was that 80s horror, that slasher stuff. Yeah. There wasn't slasher tiki. At least I couldn't find it. We saw, I think, a space for 80s horror and that slasher horror to kind of come into the fold with tiki.
Yeah.
And it's been great because I've since recently seen a lot more people kind of embracing that too, which is awesome. I'm not saying we're the first ones to do it, but I'm loving that I'm seeing more of it now, which is great. We've got to meet a lot of those people, and those shared interests are awesome. Like even the people who run the podcast Nightmare on Film Street.
Yep.
Found out they're huge tiki people.
Yep.
Obviously they're huge in the horror scene, so it's just cool to see, like you're saying, these common interests that we get to figure out based on something else.
Yeah.
In this case, tiki. Also get to learn that some people are fucking creepy and like weird shit.
Yeah,
You're welcome here.
A lot of it. And
welcome here.
And the cool thing is you have an Instagram page.
We do.
But you started, well, not started. I mean, you've been doing it a while, but you have what's it called? An Instagram live show?
We do, yeah. So we loved building community.
Yeah.
That was the biggest part of this. Was unfortunately when we started this place, we couldn't see people. So we had to find other ways to engage with these people that started following us, and we started following them, and we started just like really connecting with them online. Then once the world started to open up a bit, we were able to go visit these people and connect them, personally, intimately, which is awesome. But we started to see like more and more people kind of coming to to Creepers Cove in terms of an online format. We had always had the intention of doing a show.
Yep.
So Autumn and I were trying to think, what can we do with this? There's a lot of tiki podcasts, a lot of tiki shows out there. There's a lot of horror podcasts, a lot of horror shows. There's not a lot of horror tiki shows.
No.
Let's do a thing called Dark Paradise. So that's where this started. We originally
That's a
wanted.
great name, too.
Thank you.
That's a really great name.
I really love that. So the original premise for Dark Paradise was, we remember when we first watched international horror. You know, we grew up on, like I said, Freddy Krueger. We grew up on Jason Voorhees,
Yep.
Michael Myers.
Yep.
We've been taught how to be afraid as Americans.
Yep.
And we've kind of got desensitized by that. It was very, very hard to be a horror like fanatic and be scared by something coming out of American cinema.
No.
You'd be shocked. You start incorporating like all the body horror and stuff like that, and the cannibalism stuff like that, where it was like shock and awe kind of stuff. But it was very, very rare that you were getting like genuinely scared.
No, and actually,
know?
and me watching the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a teenager. They didn't scare me. I just thought they were cool.
I thought they were cool too.
I mean, that's the operative word for it. Was they were just this is cool.
Yeah, but then you started to see Japanese horror making its entrance into American cinema. You watch The Ring for the first time, like, whoa, this is a brand new way to be scared. You know, and then you watch all the shoot-offs of like The Grudge and all that stuff, The Eye. Then you watch and you start like diving deeper, like, oh, what the fuck is Tetsuo, the Iron Man? What the fuck is this? The same way that we first got scared by international horror and specifically like Asian horror.
Yeah.
We started learning that there's other things going on in those countries as well. They had their own cryptids, their own monsters, their own ancient folklores, ancient spirits. You know, we have our chupacabras. You know, we have our so many versions of Sasquatch and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And we start learning about these detached heads that have their fucking intestines hanging down. They're stealing babies and things like a swans. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
This is so cool. A lot of people don't know about this stuff. So we really wanted to focus on the darkness, but also the paradise. So we took Dark Paradise, the premise as we're going to go to these countries that are considered tiki.
Yep.
By their very nature. You know, the Southeast Asian island countries. We're going to like Tahiti. We're going to Papua New Guinea.
Yep.
But instead of talking about Sasquatch, you know, and Mothman, we're talking about their cryptids and their monsters. So it was a way of like talking about their cultures and stuff that they're afraid of,
Yeah.
while also honoring what they gave us in terms of the tiki culture that we have here.
Yeah.
Now that was not entirely sustainable on my schedule and Autumn's schedule because we're doing pre-recorded versions of this.
Oh, you were doing pre-recorded.
Yeah. So that format didn't really work on a live format. So we decided to do a thing called Domestic Disturbances, Dark Paradise Domestic Disturbances, where we're doing the similar thing, but we're going to state by state and talking to people like you in Washington and talking about your cryptids and monsters while talking about your tiki community.
Yeah, you brought up some things. The thing I didn't even hear it.
That little pig monster. That's fantastic. Yeah, no. So now we go live every Thursday.
Is it every Thursday?
Every Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time?
Yeah. 8:00 Central. 8:00 Central. We'll do a domestic disturbance episode where we'll bring on a guest and talk about their state, their cryptids, their tiki, their monsters, or we'll do a thing just called the Horror Happy Hour. We'll dissect a specific horror movie. Yeah. And then drink. Somewhat themed cocktail. Sometimes has nothing to do with the movie. It's just a good drink.
And I gotta say this, if people don't know this, well, first of all, subscribe to Creepers Cove on Instagram.
Thank you.
And you do have a presence on Facebook too, right?
Or
do you not do much?
Not as much as Instagram. Most of what we do in terms of social media is Instagram.
Instagram, okay.
We're a little bit present on Facebook. Most recently, a little bit more. We just recently started a group here where we already have Mocan Tiki, which is like a very, very well established group here. Yeah. But we kind of want to do something a little bit on the darker end. Mocan Tiki is very much a lot of tiki enthusiasts, authentic tiki type people. Love them. We want to do a little something had a little more flair, like we liked on the darker side. So we have Misery Tiki. We call it Big River Boozin'.
Big River Boozin'.
Misery Tiki loves company. But yeah, we were trying to figure out a way now that everything's kind of opening up more, and hopefully people are safer this summer and things.
I want to see this happen though. I want to see. I mean, you have like tiki, but I want to see subgenres of this.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to see that. I want to like a horror creepy tiki community. You know, whatever you want to call it. You know.
Yeah. So we call ourselves Tiki Creeps.
Yeah.
Creepy Tiki is Devin Devereaux, our homie from San Diego.
Hey, Devin.
Devin's great. Do you know Devin?
Had him on the show.
Oh, Devin's great, man. I don't think I've seen that episode. I gotta go back and find that
He's
one.
a cool dude. Really
Devin's
cool
a great dude. So he is Creepy Tiki.
He used to live up in Portland, and he moved down to San Diego.
Awesome. Yeah, Devin's awesome. He was one of the first people that we kind of came across in this
When
group.
when I saw his art, and
Yeah.
like it's like if there was anything that would like, okay, what is
Yeah.
goth tiki? Or
Yeah.
whatever. Boom,
Exactly.
there it is.
Exactly. So that's awesome. Love Devin. So yeah, we're trying to do something like that, like a subgenre of tiki here. That's a little more on the creepy side. So our girl Roxy, she has her own little pop-up that she started called Hellfire Tiki.
Nice.
Hail Satan. So she's all about big titty goth tiki, man. You got to have her on. She's amazing.
Yeah. There you go. Big titty goth tiki.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. But one last thing I want to say is that even though your show is live and it's recorded live,
Yeah.
if you go into their page and you go back, they're all there.
They're all there, yeah.
So you can go back and watch any of the episodes.
Yeah.
At
I think
any
we've
time.
done like 30 something now. They're all in there.
Yeah, and you can. They're the full thing. Your shows are usually about an hour and a half long or something.
Yeah, we tried to shoot for an hour. It was the horror happy hour, but it's very much air quoted. We go long. We tend to go long. We typically, especially when we have guests on. We had you on last episode.
It was an honor to be on.
And I think we went,
Hour and 50 minutes, something like that.
and we didn't even cover half of the things that were bullet pointed in my notes. But it was fantastic. We just shot the shit and just riffing off one another and had a great conversation.
Well, that was tough for me because it's sort of like I'm I guess your guest.
Yeah.
The idea is you'd ask me questions, but it was like, man, I have so many questions to ask them.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I did this
Yeah,
episode.
I'm glad it worked out.
Well, I'm glad I did too because you made me a pseudo raised mistake,
It's
great.
it's kind of a raised mistake. We'll call it that.
Kind of a raised mistake.
Kind of a raised mistake.
Ian, thank you for having me in the Creepers Cove.
Hey, we always
It's a
say,
pleasure to be here.
Always say, as long as you're not an asshole, you're always welcome here.
No, is there a knife in there?
Yeah, it's the Halloween knife.
Michael! when he's at the end where he's in the clown outfit, he's just like
Just sitting there.
takes off the mask, and
It's
you're
beautiful.
like, and I remember, like
That's why I don't have kids.
when he goes in to like kill his sister,
I
in the
remember
movie,
well.
and it's this thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And you see her tits and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
But like in the made for
Oh, I
TV, it's like this big. It's like, where? So I feel like a young Michael Myers got cheated on the TV version.
I guess that camera that they used for that was like 800 pounds. Shocking. And it could
And it's tough because that kid was really small and he had
Yeah.
to roll around with that camera. All right, you got.
he was on another kid's shoulder so they can get the right point of view.
This is hurting. Imagine you're that kid though. What the kid's the name of that actor?
No.
Imagine so he grows up and it's like, yeah, I was an actor. Oh yeah, who were you? I was Michael Myers. Bullshit,
I was small Michael.
So you may be asking yourself, how can I join the Tiki Goth Club? Well, there is no membership. There are no fees. Well, things have changed. For $15, you can become a member of the Tiki Goth Club. What does $15 get you? It gets you your own membership card with your own number. You also get a couple stickers and a pin. I also have shirts for sale. These are $20, $5 shipping and handling. And I also have hoodies for sale that go for $40, $10 shipping and handling. If you're interested in any of this, go to my website, tikiwithray.com, and there's a tab that says Tiki Goth Club. Just click on that, and all the information you need is there.